Day 3, December 31st, 2025, New Year's Eve in Ketosis. Today I'm sharing day 3 of my dry fast, December 31st, 2025, New Year's Eve. While the world was preparing to celebrate with champagne and feasts, I was entering deep ketosis. The numbers first: weight 215.7 pounds, down 4.3 pounds from my starting weight of 220, waist 44.5 inches, finally some movement, down 1 inch from 45.5, energy 8 out of 10, improved from yesterday's 7, mood 8 out of 10, slightly lower but still positive. In just 3 days, I had lost 4.3 pounds and a full inch off my waist. The transformation was beginning. Let me walk you through this day because it was eventful. I couldn't sleep the night before, not from discomfort. I actually felt really relaxed despite not feeling sleepy. I spent the late hours watching movies, Diwanji and Gadar, two Hindi films. By 5 a.m., I was up and preparing for the day. I had an early morning oil change scheduled for 6:30 a.m., and I wanted to be first in line when they opened. Here's the thing about getting an oil change. They typically make you wait 2 hours. In my old life, I would have spent that time eating and vaping, fast food in the waiting area, constant puffing on my vape. But now, no food, no water, no vape, just me and 2 hours to fill. So I went for a walk, a long walk. And here's what surprised me: my energy wasn't low. I felt capable. I felt functional. On day 3 of a dry fast, with no food, no water, and going through nicotine withdrawal, I walked for 2 hours and felt fine. The oil change was done, and then I found myself in grocery stores. I want you to understand how challenging this was. It was the smell of freshly cooked food, the bakery section, the deli, all of it hitting my senses while I hadn't consumed anything in nearly 72 hours. I wrote in my journal it was kind of hard to smell freshly cooked food as well as the rest of the stuff, but I survived it. That exclamation point was genuine. I was proud of myself for not breaking. The temptation was real, but my commitment was stronger. By this point in day 3, the hunger pangs were attacking. This is textbook dry fasting progression. Days 2 and 3 often feature the strongest hunger signals. The body is still expecting food. Ghrelin, the hunger hormone, is still elevated at the times you would normally eat. But I knew this was temporary. The research told me that by day 4 or 5, hunger typically diminishes significantly as the body fully adapts to ketosis and ghrelin resets to lower levels. I just had to endure the next 24 hours. In the evening, something happened that tested me further. My wife Nimi wanted to go for a drive in the rain, and naturally this drive involved stops at food places after she did her regular round of returns at various stores. So there I was, dry fasting, day 3, sitting in the driver's seat while my wife ate in the car beside me. I had to drive her around, past restaurants, past fast food places, smelling everything, watching her eat. This is the reality of fasting while living a normal life. The world doesn't pause because you're fasting. Your spouse still needs to eat. Errands still need to be run. Life continues, and you have to be strong enough to continue your fast regardless. I didn't break. I drove. I waited. I endured. Let me talk about what was happening physiologically on day 3. By now, full ketosis was established. My blood ketone levels were likely between 1.5 and 3.0 mmol. My brain was now running approximately 40% on ketones and 60% on glucose produced through gluconeogenesis. Metabolic water production had kicked in significantly, probably 800 milliliters to 1 liter per day. When your body burns fat, it releases water. For every 100 grams of fat oxidized, approximately 110 milliliters of pure water is produced. This metabolic water is purer than any water you could drink. It's produced internally from your own fat stores. This is why extended dry fasting is possible. Your body creates its own hydration. Autophagy was now at significant levels, probably 50 to 60% of maximum. My cells were actively cleaning up damaged proteins, dysfunctional mitochondria, and cellular debris. The repair process was in full swing. I want to highlight something from my journal entry for this day. I started my fast at 9 p.m. PST on December 29, 2025. This meant that my day 3 closed exactly at midnight Pacific time on New Year's Eve, the same moment the ball dropped in Times Square. So as the world counted down to 2026, I was completing exactly 72 hours of dry fasting. There's something poetic about that timing. The world celebrated the new year with champagne and excess. I celebrated by completing 3 days of intentional abstinence, different paths, different priorities. Let me give you the breakdown of what I experienced on day 3. Energy improved to 8 out of 10. The ketosis was providing stable fuel to my brain. The worst of the transition was behind me. Hunger, present and attacking at times, but not overwhelming. I could recognize it, acknowledge it, and let it pass. Thirst, present. My mouth felt dry, but I wasn't experiencing dangerous dehydration symptoms. My body was adapting. Headache. I didn't specifically note a headache on day 3, which suggests it was diminishing or gone. The metabolic transition was completing. Mood 8 out of 10, slightly lower than the previous day's 10s. Perhaps the reality of the extended fast was settling in, but still positive. Let me put the day 3 weight loss in context. I had now lost 4.3 pounds in 3 days. That's an average of 1.43 pounds per day. But let me be analytical about this. A significant portion of this early weight loss is water from glycogen depletion. Let's estimate glycogen stores at approximately 400 to 500 grams, liver plus muscles, water bound to glycogen at approximately 1,200 2,000 grams, 3/4x the glycogen, giving total water weight from glycogen of roughly 3 to 5 pounds. So of my 4.3 pounds lost, perhaps 3 to 4 pounds was water. That leaves roughly half a pound to 1.3 pounds of actual fat loss in 3 days. That might sound less impressive, but consider I was burning approximately 200-300 grams of fat per day purely from stored body fat. That's real permanent fat loss, and it would only accelerate as the fast continued. The waist measurement told a similar story, down 1 inch in 3 days. This was likely a combination of reduced bloating, water loss, and the beginning of visceral fat reduction. Let me share my mental state on day 3. I was proud, genuinely proud. 3 days without food, 3 days without water, 3 days without vaping, and I was still standing, still functional, still committed. There's something empowering about proving to yourself that you can do hard things, that your body is more resilient than you thought, that your mind is stronger than your cravings. Every hour of day 3 was a small victory. Every temptation resisted was proof that I was in control. The day closed with midnight approaching. The new year was coming. I watched the countdown, not with a glass of champagne, but with the satisfaction of having completed 72 hours of one of the most challenging things I've ever done. My resolution for 2026 wasn't to try to eat better or exercise more often. Those vague aspirations had failed me before. My resolution was already in progress. Transform my relationship with food fundamentally. Make fasting my baseline. Make eating the exception. And as the clock struck midnight in 2026 began, I was already 72 hours into that transformation. Day 3 summary. Date December 31st, 2025, New Year's Eve. Day of fast 3. Weight 215.7 pounds, down 4.3 lbs from start. Waist 44.5 inches, down 1 inch from start. Energy level 8 out of 10. Mood 8 out of 10. Symptoms: hunger pangs present but manageable. Energy improving. Cumulative progress: total weight lost 4.3 pounds. Total waist reduction 1 inch. Percentage of weight goal achieved 6.1%. Average daily weight loss 1.43 pounds. That's day 3, New Year's Eve in ketosis. The hardest days were behind me. Days 1 and 2 were the setup and transition. Day 3 was confirmation that my body had adapted. Day 4 would be New Year's Day, the first day of 2026. I would wake up having not eaten for over 80 hours, and I would feel remarkable. But that's for the next video. Thank you for watching. Total time fasted as of end of day 3, approximately 75 hours, midnight Jan 1, 2026. Total weight change, down 4.3 pounds, 220.0 to 215.7. Total waist change, down 1 inch, 45.5 to 44.5. Key milestone, completed 72 hours, full ketosis established. Overall assessment, corner turned, the worst is behind. Next video, day 4, January 1st, 2026, New Year's Day, the clarity arrives.